Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Sit comfortably. Today we have a brand new set of great stories for you to enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Don't ever touch my stuff. To start, I work at a data center regulated by a military company. We have a very strict no-phone policy. Since this policy was made by the company, it basically trumps everyone's position in the office. My desk is located near my boss, who has an office. When he gets in, he has meeting after meeting to go to, so it's typical for him to come in, throw his stuff down, and leave for the day's meeting. The thing is, he has the annoying habit of leaving his phone on the desk on loud, so when his alarm goes off, it blares out everything else. I'm a system administrator, so my job is to help users with their access to our systems. Part of this is calling them, and when I do, they tell me all the time that they couldn't hear me over the alarm. Our clients are all over the world, and some even deemed it disrespectful from all the background noise. One day, when my boss had done his typical routine of leaving, I asked him if he could turn off his alarm. I've been getting complaints from the users. Boss: Son, when you're in my position, you can do whatever you want. So shut up and do what I pay you for. I have no choice because I honestly don't know what to do in this situation. Anyway, he leaves and I carry on. I get a call from one of our top clients in Japan about how some users are having trouble accessing applications. Midway through his call, my boss's phone alarm goes off again, and the user starts complaining about the call experience. I had enough and told the user to give me a few seconds so I could silence the phone alarm. Obviously, I can't get into the phone, so I press any key that usually silenced alarms. While I'm doing this, the boss walks in and catches me. WTF are you doing in my office? He cuts me off. Get the F out and don't ever touch my stuff again, or you're fired, you contractor POS. Sir, our Japan clients are complaining about the background noise and call quality. You heard me. Don't touch my crap. And let him complain. I'm the boss here. He also added that if anyone wanted to challenge him, try it. I'm thick-skinned, but this moment I was heated. I sat down, closed my eyes, and took a deep breath. I looked down on my desk to see a flashing light indicating someone on the phone. I had completely forgotten about the client on the other end. I picked up the phone, turned mute off so the user could hear me again. Before the user could even speak, my boss's alarm starts going off. The user eventually hangs up from frustration. I got the great idea that if I could get enough users to complain about the phone, something could happen. About 80% of the calls I took had the alarm noise in the back. I went as far as to roll my chair as close to my boss's door as possible for the alarm to be as loud as possible. Users begged me to turn it off, but I told them I couldn't. I honestly wasn't trying to be a jerk to users, but my hands were tied and the boss wouldn't do anything. I needed to either leave or make him leave. Users kept complaining. I kept denying to touch the phone. They started submitting bad reviews for me until one day I get an email to meet our HR rep about my performance. As we went over everything, I noted that it was my boss's phone, and that's what the users were complaining about. Oh, I mentioned I couldn't touch it either, and how he was threatening to fire me. The HR rep's jaw dropped. I don't know immediately what happened, but by the end of the day, I get another email stating that the boss didn't work there anymore and to disable his accounts and secure his CAC, Common Access Card. I processed this request with the biggest grin cheek to cheek. I found out later it was the phone, not the bad language that he got fired for. As for anyone who doesn't know, if you get caught with your phone in a secure location, they take it and don't give it back due to the risk of compromised data. He had a brand new iPhone 11 Pro Max. And our next story. Oh, let me help you spread those nasty rumors so you can get me fired and take my job. Be careful what you wish for. I'm a woman who's been at my job for 14 years now and slowly made my way up to third in command. Our firm was bought out by an elderly gentleman who gave it to his 28-year-old daughter as a birthday present. So now everyone's jobs depend on the whims of this girl who has no idea how our business is run. She's very temperamental and has already fired a dozen employees that have been with us for 5 years or more because she didn't like the way they looked at her in her skin-tight leather miniskirt, or because she wanted their jobs for one of her friends, or they blanched at her idea to spend $80,000 to replace all the fluorescent lighting in the building, because it makes her look pale. Hell, why not? So everyone's been kissing butt, but no one quite as heartily as sexist a-hole Mick, who's been at the firm for a whopping 15 months, but assures Miss Boss that he's got 15 years of real-world leadership experience. Really. 1 year more than me, you see, because he's wanted my office ever since he was hired, and this is his only chance. Of course, he deserves an office for his part-time job where he does nothing but copy numbers, but offices are only for management. He thinks he can get an office if he gets someone fired, and so campaigned Miss Boss to fire me, the only female manager, telling her that I'm lazy, that I can't lead a team, etc. She thinks he's sexy, and so has listened with awe to his ramblings. Meanwhile, whenever she's gone, Mick smirks at me and brags about how he's going to have my office any day now. I ignored him at first, but then I had a better idea. Why go for my office? It's one of the smallest, doesn't have a window. I would think you'd need something bigger if you're going to be the new vice president. Well, he was thinking of being a manager like me, but yeah, why not be vice president? The current vice president's another sexist a-hole who hired Mick and who sheltered him whenever I would complain about his bullcrap and backstabbing behavior. And while Mick is just making up crap about me, he actually knows some real dirt on the Veep. Hell, why not? Vice president gets the word that Mick is gunning for his job. Mick has been blabbing about all the conferences the Veep takes, which are really just vacations on company time. The look on Veep's face. Tried to warn you, dumb butt. I also helpfully remind Mick of my faults, like I never leave the office on time, and I'm always interrupting people at meetings, and I sleep at my desk, which is covered in papers. He agrees those are all terrible things, so he dutifully reports them all to Miss Boss. Yesterday, Miss Boss made the announcement that Veep has been asked to retire. Word around the water cooler is that Mick is in deep crap too, because he not only blabbed to Miss Boss about Veep, but to our competitors, which made the company look bad. She is PO'd. Plus, Mick didn't just ask for Veep's office. Bigger is better, right? He asked for the entire conference room to be made his office. He even drew a blueprint of how it could be redesigned with its own bathroom and sitting area, even bigger than Miss Boss's office. Rumor has it Miss Boss laughed at him, then said, "Are you effing serious? You're effing having delusions of grandeur, kid." He's lost all credibility and is back typing numbers at his cubicle. And of course now Miss Boss needs a new vice president. She told me she's heard that I work long hours, I never leave the office on time, and that I constantly have new ideas. I'm always interrupting people at meetings, and that I don't quit until the project's done. I sleep at my desk, and that I needed a bigger office. She pointed to my desk, which is again covered in paperwork, and asked me if I'd take Veep's old office and job. Hell, why not? And our next story. Turns out he had the money. My grandmother recently told me the story about how my grandfather got his blue pickup truck from an idiot salesman. My grandfather, whose name will be Chuck, always dressed like he was low on money, ripped up shirts and jackets because it's cheaper than buying new crap. But Chuck actually had quite a bit of money from some stocks he invested in. Anyways, on to the story. Chuck's car recently broke down and he needed a new one. My grandmother always liked a blue pickup from the local dealer, so he decided to buy it. Chuck loved to haggle for a good deal, and this time was no different. $18,000, and the salesman, who we'll call Jack, doesn't even think Chuck has made that much in his life based on his appearance, so while they're negotiating, Chuck says, "I'll give you $9,000 today." Jack says, "If you can get me $9,000 by sundown, the car's yours." And with that, they shook on it. Chuck went off to the bank where he wrote up a check for $9,000, and an hour later walked up to the dealer with a crap-eating grin on his face when he set down the check and asked, "Where's the keys?" Jack tried to argue that there was no contract, but when Chuck called Jack's boss, Bob, the conversation went as follows. Bob: "Jack, did you agree to the terms?" "I didn't think he'd actually get it." "Did you agree or not?" "I did." "Then give him the effing car and pack your things. You're fired." Chuck drove off with his truck, and the dealer is there to this day. I'm going to get my first car from there soon, although I don't think I'll get the same deal, sadly. And our last story. Fire me on my birthday, will you? So I was a manager for a cleaning crew for about 2.5 years. About 6 months prior, we had a change in staff above me to someone I didn't get along with. We'll call her Sheila. After months of conflict, because I made a complaint about having to work 20-plus unpaid hours a week on average because Sheila kept telling us to do things that weren't on the contract, I got a call about 6 hours before I started work on a new contract to come to an urgent meeting at a local bakery. I figure, crap, all right, cancel my birthday lunch with my mom, and off I head. I get there and am greeted by my termination paperwork sitting on the table in front of me. Not even a hello. After I pick it up, flick through it, and get the general gist of what's going on, the boss asks me to stay and perform a full handover to them. Not too pleased about everything going on, I said, sure, but I think you can shout me a lunch first since you just sacked me in public on my birthday, to which Sheila tries to say no, but the other upper management guy who is with her tells her it's a good idea. Naturally, I ordered the most expensive food and drink they serve, then excuse myself to wash my hands, walk out of the back, and get in my car, drive home, and turn my phone off. The next day, I email them the details they wanted me to walk them through, knowing full well that they've already rocked up to the site and have to admit that they have no idea what they were paid to do. Bonus points because I convinced 2 of the other workers who I was mates with to call in sick and leave them understaffed as well. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.